أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear students, hope you are doing fine. Today we are going to discuss human rights in Islam, as we have already in the previous session deliberated on the importance of human rights in Islam. Today we will discuss certain rights, particularly the right to life. Human rights in Islam, as I have already discussed, are the precepts which have been guaranteed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to humans as being human. These rights, they are divine in nature. They have been gifted by God to humans. And to protect them, to honor them is the responsibility of believers. For example, there is right to life, which we will discuss in the session. There is right to property. There is right to freedom of speech, or what you may call it as freedom of expression. There is right to freedom of religion and a right to privacy. This should not be confused with the right to property. Right to property is something different, and right to privacy is something else. Now let us start with the first right, that is right to life. Right to life is one of the basic, one of the first and the foremost right that Islam has guaranteed to human beings. And we know that it is a human gift, it is a divine gift, and it cannot be taken in any circumstances. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed humans the life which is sacred, which has the most sanctity among all the rights, and it is an essential foundation for all others. For all other rights, the right to life is the essential foundation. And the sanctity of life, the nobility of life, is inherent, a right for every human being, because life is God-given gift and manifestation of His divine grace. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His grace, by His mercifulness, He bestowed human the life to live in this world. So this cannot be taken in any circumstances except by law, except for a punishment which is discussed in the holy verses of the Quran. Quran says, whoever killed a human being except as a punishment for murder or for spreading corruption in the land shall be regarded as having killed all mankind. Al-Ma'idah. And in another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not kill a soul which Allah has made sacred except through the due process of law. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in these verses that human life is sacred, and whoever killed a human being, it seems that he has killed entire mankind, and killing a human being is deemed as he has killed entire humanity, entire mankind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that do not kill a soul which Allah has made sacred except through the due process of law. That means that it is the prerogative of law or state to punish a person of his, if he is found guilty, if he has corrupted in the land, or if he has killed somebody. It is the right of the state that he should give the punishment to that person who has killed somebody. It is not. It has not been left with an individual to pursue the process. So it becomes clear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the life sacred. He has granted the human life sanctity. It becomes clear that any infringement of this right is tantamount to the destruction of humankind in totality, as we already said. You must know further that the sanctity of life it comes next as important value after belief in God. And when we believe in the oneness of the Almighty, this the right to live it comes next to the belief in God. And in the verse which in the preceding verse, the life has been regarded as a sacred one, irrespective of race, religion, color, age, or gender. Irrespective. There is no mention of race, there is no mention of religion, there is humanity to be protected, there is humans, they are important. So life is to be protected irrespective of race, irrespective of religion, irrespective of color, irrespective of age, or irrespective of gender. Because life is sacred. And in hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, out of its great concern for the protection of life, Islam threatens of punishment to those who kill. In one of the hadiths, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has regarded the killing of a believer as the gravest sin, as the gravest kabira guna. In a hadith, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if this world were to be destroyed, that would be less significant before Allah than the unlawful killing of a believer. In another hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a servant continued to guard his path and thus hopes for the mercy of Allah so long as he does not shed blood unjustly. And in various other hadiths, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam guaranteed the protection of life. It is sanctity. It is sacredness. And if in retaliation there are also laid certain guidelines how to retaliate, how to take a revenge. Islam even has set the precedent for the moral guidance of warfare. And if there is a war, Islam has set guidelines how to deal in the war. And Islam has forbidden Muslims that from killing anyone except active combatants. Those who are combatants, who are attacking you, you are allowed to kill them. Not those who are unarmed, who are not combatants, who are not attacking you. And Islam has forbidden killing women, children, or the elderly. They should be spared. In no case they should be killed. Women, children, or elderly. And mutilating enemy corpses. If an enemy has been killed, after killing, his body should be respectfully. His body should be handled properly. He should not be mutilated. He should be buried as per the rules. And Islam has forbidden in these testing times when there is a war, that burning of trees and destroying crops. That also has been forbidden. And killing those sitting in places of worship. And Islam forbids killing those sitting in places of worship. So it becomes clear that Islam honors life in clear manner. that it is a divine gift which is to be secured and defended by all means. And it is the individual and universal duty of Muslims, according to the Quran, to protect the human merits and virtues of others. That a human life, it should be protected, it should be secured, it should be defended. And we know that suicide is prohibited in Islam because the life is a divine gift. It is not the property of that person, but it is the property of Allah the Almighty who owns it. Allah has the right to take the life of a person. A man has not the right to take his own life. And so suicide is prohibited in Islam. It is not allowed to kill oneself. And it is also a grave sin committing suicide by whatever means has been forbidden by Islam. So it becomes clear that life is sacred. It is a divine gift. It is an honor which has been bestowed upon human beings. That it should be protected, it should be secured, it should be respected, and it should not be violated in any circumstances except by law. Except by law. It is the law-giving authority, or it is the prerogative of the state that who can deal with the punishment. It has not been left with an individual to decide his own, but it has been left to the state. That state must enforce if it needs a person in the court of law to be subject to the punishment. It has been left to the government, left to the state. When we study the Islamic history, we find that when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Medina, he established a city state. A city state was established by Prophet Muhammad, and being at the head of the community, he drafted a constitution where all the rights were guaranteed to everybody who was living in the Medina, irrespective of his religion, race, color, and they were guaranteed the rights, which was an unparalleled incident in the history, that no such a draft, a constitution was ever formed where the adversaries, or where those who were non-Muslims, they were given the rights, right to life, right to live, right to freedom of speech, and right to privacy, etc. in this constitution, which was drafted in Medina after migration. And when the Muslims were in Mecca preaching Islam, they were not allowed to retaliate. So they were given this right after migration, but in Mecca they were not allowed to retaliate. And in the wars, as we have already discussed, that there were set guidelines that how to deal the life not only of human beings, but even animals, even trees, even other things which we seem that they are not of much significance, but in Islam, and the life has, if we talk overall, the life has been regarded as one of the most human value that should be protected, that should be secured. So this session we have discussed the right to life in some detail, and in next session inshallah we are going to discuss another right, that is right to property, which Islam has guaranteed to humans, to people. And I hope that you must be doing well, and you are taking benefit of these video lectures. And I hope that if there is any question, you may call